Şeye bak. Arkadaki map'e bakın. Sasol yapıyor. Sayfaya bak. Al başladı oğlum işte, tertemiz. Hem de Diggle'la başladı. Sonuçta finaldeyiz. Simple NBK. Simple Aksine çok agresif ortaya geldi. Bak AP aldı direkt. Çok sıkıntı. Lan be. NBK var ya, AP var diye pikleyemedi. Düzgün piklese vururdu yani.
Almost a kill for NBK though, gets him down to 6 health. Now the UMPs. Now we get a little to the gamble, and oh, s1mple might want to go for it again. He's so out in the open. He's trying to use these pillars as much as possible, and I don't think NBK really wants this fight. I think he just doesn't want him to jump over to the AWP.
Simple hiç tek tek atmadı lan, şey oynadı, burst'ı spray oynadı. İlginç. 1-1.
They knew exactly where each other were, but nobody wanted to get that first dink in, so just took a little while there.
Of.
And falls and NBK very low on health.
Of.
That's a great return. He was so fast with the first
SMS'e hemen vurdu lan, çok iyi.
Normally that means you just win.
Well, we saw him talk about this when he did a breakdown with Freya earlier, where he liked to change, you know, the angle of his attack. Remember when he's talking about his fight against Device, where he dropped down the stairs.
Bir de NBK alsa çok tatlı olmaz mı?
Simple gonna go down
Return of the King.
3-1 for the Frenchman, and even burning the body. In case it was a White Walker, you know.
Yeah, you've got to make doubly sure. Definitely don't want Simple coming back after you really taken him down. That would be a real nightmare.
The worst of all of them.
Now it's open. They're kind of not looking at each other at the moment. Simple in the middle. You would think he would be exposed from so many angles, but
Simple çok ortaya oynuyor ya.
Going to be looking for it. He wasn't this time.
İsabet var mı? Yok.
Now just around the wall.
Of.
NBK. That's risky. They're right on top of each other, making a bit of noise. Simple just slowly creeping in. He's got him surely. Timing is everything, and he's not going to miss that shot.
Çok ses verdi zaten ya.
Koştura.
A little bit of panic, I think, from NBK when he realized he's like caught out in the open, and there's a big obstacle in front of him that Simple can use for cover.
NBK seri yargı atıyoruz ve
didn't have the positioning, and just had to get back into cover as soon as possible. And you lose a lot of advantages, as you mentioned. The aggressor seems to just take map space away from the opponent. Simple, couple shots with that deagle. Out in the open, he's going to have to reload into cover, and he's brought down so low. NBK finishes him off.
Pozisyon avantajı vardı. Çok iyi kullandı.
I love the fact that he's not even afraid of fighting Simple here.
Ama biteritten kovulmadı değil mi? Hayır. Ben çaldım.
Lock you behind this pillar, you can't get out, and I'm just going to fight you. That's nice.
I like the way that NBK, he's usually such like a smiley, happy human being that like talks to you and, you know, tells some jokes when you run past him in the hallway. At this event, he's just been stone cold.
Lan be, ilk KS'ye atan da NBK yani. Ama işte VMP vurmuyor ki uzağa.
That might have lured NBK into coming into that fight. You hear those dinks come out, and that's always like the feel-good moment when you realize you're hitting him in the head. But it's the UMP, so it's not doing nearly as much damage as you think.
Yeah, it's very deceptive, isn't it? But you're right, he has been all business this event so far, NBK. And guess what? It's brought him to the grand finals. Who could really argue? That's a long-range spray again.
Bak bu kart topuna izin vermemesi lazım NBK'nin. Simple'ı böyle bağlarsa koştura üstüne oyun oynar. Zaten agresif oyun oynamayı seviyor.
Round number 9 in the AKs in their hands, and Simple again has just marched across the map, and it's NBK making all the noise. Simple could go for the knife.
Oh, probably have the kill already, but he's gonna go for it. I think he was thinking.
Finalde knife olunca bir şey oluyor mu acaba bıçak atınca?
If NBK dropped down, he was getting knifed, and he doesn't realize it at the time. Maybe he does, but that's like
sadece para şey mi
var
acaba?
The right call. Take the loss that way.
Yeah, that's not gonna feel great, is it, being knifed in the grand final of all places? I don't know if he knows this yet.
He definitely does.
Did he see him, or did he just have a little bit of intuition here?
I think he must have seen him, because he's very committed to that side of the map. Now, he obviously has no idea of this positioning from NBK, and NBK is just kind of thinking, I'm going to give you a taste of your own medicine. You've walked across the map a couple rounds to find an easy kill. It's my turn.
Wow, that was close. If he'd gone the other way, I think he would have had it. Now he might actually be at a disadvantage. Simple waiting. That is, again, quite the intuition. He was about to. I think if NBK kept walking, I think he would have won that fight.
That was
4 yine Deagle.
I'm typing in chat.
Yine o kadar saçma sapan silahları vermedi ya.
This is a deathmatch and you just backed into a corner and just waited.
Oh, and now strafing into that headshot. It's got its own kind of celebration. Yeah, that is.
It's a bit grimy.
We've had with the term.
Hep uğraşmışlar ama bayağı ya.
But it was a great insult back in the day.
Alttan çıkışlar olsun şu middeki. Güzel yapı olsun. Map'in büyük olması sebebi başta map'te birebir değil 4 kişi başladılar. Herkes tek olarak başladı, o yüzden map bu kadar büyük.
Is this Simple catching enough momentum that he just runs away with it?
Snowballing right now, isn't he? And you're right, the change of pace and change of style is just making it really hard for NBK to read exactly what's going on. Probably needs to just play his own style, and the aim is still there, the accuracy. That's a great shot for NBK, isn't it? All the way across the map.
He needed it. Shut Simple down back to the AWPs. NBK just waiting, hoping Simple will run into his crosshair. Not happening just yet. Now he spots him. I think they both have seen each other for sure. And Simple gets aggressive, already scoped in as he circles the obelisk.
Map linki var. Map linkini bilmiyoruz ya. Bizimkiler bakalım bulmaya çalışacaklar teoriden. Eğer bulunursa yayında oynarız. Bir maç mı yapacak? Evet, bir maç olacak. 35 round süren oluyor şu an. Best of 35 oldu. 35 round'un en iyisi.
NBK doing his best to answer back.
NBK's had some really good Deagle rounds, and we were kind of laughing earlier in the qualifying.
Final maçı evet.
You're paired up against Simple and Nico,
Simple
and the server
16 önde.
when they have Deagles, like that's everyone's like.
NBK'ye de wildcard geldi buraya ya.
NBK
Sürpriz olarak girdi.
stopping us in the hallway when we came back after a break, and he's just like, "Why is it not a nightmare when I have a Deagle?"
Çok iyi.
Well, I mean, he's making a good statement.
Well, I didn't really have the heart to tell him, but now we understand why he said it.
It's not bad, is it? He's almost catching up. He's gotten out in the open. And, you know, those open fights and the aggression, it's looking great for Simple when it works, but he's lost a couple of rounds like this now. Now he's going to think, well, maybe change that style a little bit.
Well, this is like a cool aggression from NBK, like a change of his own style to kind of try and combat. He's being mobile and aggressive from side to side. He's not pushing across the map, but he's being very mobile and just trying to find his opponent first. He's been able to catch him out in the open a couple times. And this time a retreating.
Bugün mü? Bugün yok ya.
Bugün
daha uyumadım. Ölüyorum. Bir saattir round sayıyorum. 19 oldular falan. Nasıl biter? En yakın kaçta biter? Biri fark açıyor, seviniyorum. Diğeri yakalıyor. Üzülüyorum. Sonra diğer öne geçiyor. Olsun diyorum hadi falan. Bilmem ne. Yok mu şansım? Sen siyah mı geldin Fumuşko?
Especially if you're NBK, because you've been caught a number of times in this exact scenario with Simple just marching up, and they've literally just switched sides of the map, but I think NBK had the vision.
Yeah, I think he saw it as well, but now he's actually moved into the middle. This is where just the full-on paranoia sets in for both players. You can tell they're not exactly sure what noise being made.
Oh, yukarı çık.
Right on top. I don't know how he doesn't get that kill. Shooting him through in return. Health, a little bit of advantage. Simple, not that's really going to matter, and NBK will win the fight. That might be one of the more strange engagements we've had so far in the finals here.
That was really cool, though. I mean, NBK just kind of froze him up there, right? Simple was thinking of the fact that NBK could go all the way around, and he just gave it that extra second to really solidify that belief.
Çok spamladı ama. Çok spamladı. Yosker, hoş geldin aramıza. Teşekkür ederim abone olun için.
Yeah, Simple liked him. Yeah. Which is like, that's got to be frustrating because NBK had no idea where it was at that point.
Direkt hakkında kısmında bir tane link var. Altta artık yazan. Direkt onu yapıştırıp indirebilirsin. Google Drive'da yüklüydü en son.
You let go of even one free round. What if that's the one you're missing at the end?
I know, right? What if it just comes down 17-17 and you're just staring it in the face, and and then you start to think. 12-11 still in the favor of Simple, but NBK's come back. AK-47s on board, HE grenades as well.
Maça bakalım.
See if the Frenchman could tie it up here. Again, 30,000 for the first place for the winner. You definitely don't want to be missing out on that. I'm sure the seriousness of that is starting to set in
Bu sefer ilk
for players
konta
now that we're getting close.
gerçi yine simple gördü.
Grenade does nothing, but it does reveal the arc of it, and NBK, that's going to tie it up. What a great story this is. Again, the wild card player coming into this, but he's kind of, I think, surprising everybody now.
Yeah, he really is, and he's won over the crowd, I think. We mentioned everyone loves an underdog story. Oh, NBK's got the angle again.
Öne geçti.
Great shot with the ult. Great play. I think is this the first lead he's had?
I believe so, yeah. And again, looking dead on focused. At no point did it seem like he was actually afraid to fight s1mple, but there was a long while there with s1mple hitting all the shots, and now Nathan's definitely back up to 14. This is such a surprise. s1mple again, we talk about it just all the time. Absolute top of the world. NBK is showing him right now in this arena that is not going to matter all that much. Out in the open and controlling the recoil well. Maybe taking him down and bringing it a bit closer now. It's almost at the end, isn't it?
14-13 NBK önde.
M4's.
Herkese şok şu anda.
Map'in
dediğim gibi çok avantajı var. 14-14. Yani bu map'te iyi map falan olsaydı çok farklı sonuçlar çıkardı bugün. Ama böyle olmasa tabii ayrı bir tat katmış. Rutinin dışına çıkmış yani, ezber bozmuş.
That is a good way to win a fight against a really routine AWP.
I mean, NBK has been pretty impressive, all things considered, with the AWP. Yeah. With such an advantage going over to s1mple, he's managed it as well as you could. Shots from NBK at the start, though, and that, I mean, you can see s1mple. He knows exactly like which quadrant of the map NBK is in. He's got the information the whole way, but NBK now starting to kind of traverse and branch out away from the safety. There's the spot from the angle, and s1mple with the re-peek.
Did he mistake the Molotov for the top of someone's head? Is that what happened? Why he shot that?
Ne yaptı lan, göremedim. Kolay mı öldü?
It looked like he was trying to shoot the Molotov.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, to be honest with you. I thought he was just trying to like break some glass.
Çok yatacaklar şimdi ya, son eller ya.
Maybe he was testing it.
Pasif oynayacaklar biraz.
Holding kind of a passive angle. We've seen him do both with the AWP, right? He's actually at times snuck all the way around the map to find NBK, and at times he's been so passive that tricked NBK too.
Ooh, that little hesitation from s1mple allowed NBK to get into this position, but s1mple's very wary of the possibility that NBK can just be walking up along the wall. There's the spot, quick shot for s1mple, accurate shot for NBK, and once again, down the stretch, we're all tied up.
Uyudun uyuyacaksın, sorma ya. O var ya, biraz önce rüyam görüyorum falan dedim yani kendi kendime. Sakin ol. Hoş geldin, teşekkür ederim abone olduğun için. Funişko'da Tunay'da CSGO'nun 4. ayını da etmiş. Tunay hoş geldin tekrardan. Kanka. Yok be. NBK öne geç tekrardan. Ben bir alayım bakayım. Hadi lan NBK. O kadar izlediğimize değsin.
UMP, this is not a fun fight with this weapon, and NBK's desperately trying to get a better position.
Vay arkadaş. Allah Allah.
Just a slight prayer here, and 16-16. All tied up once again. The M4 long range, and they're just committed to that fight. That's so bold. No tricks.
Lan keşke böyle bire girmeseydi NBK'in ya.
And that's the thing. Such an important round to just commit straight up to that fight. s1mple has a chance to close this out right here, right now, and I think you have to do that if you're him. NBK has been a nuisance.
Son elbet keleş. Hadi bakayım.
And he's waiting with the AK-47.
Well, that one round where s1mple got the leg shot. Now it's where you think about it, or hopefully you don't if you're s1mple. Just focus
NBK acaba yakın mı göremiyor, uzağa mı ya?
Just needs the right angle. NBK wedged up against the edge of the map, so it'll be hard to flank him at this point, but
ya s1mple değil NBK.
In such a round as well.
Bir şey olduğu için değil ya, böyle sürpriz oldu ya bugün NBK, o yüzden.
Really don't want to let this one go. AK-47, they have no.
Yoksa tabii ki tartışması s1mple yani.
NBK now walking into the center of the map. I would say that's very dangerous out in the open, and NBK going to tie it up. 17,
asıl yani ya.
17, ladies and gentlemen. One more round for either one of them to take home that first prize.
Son, bak. AWP. Son el. Bak Simple yine agresif oyunda ortaya.
It's Simple with the op, and he's gone passive. Simple, meanwhile, gone aggressive. He's pushed up. He's so close, and that's a lot of noise for NBK. There's the search. NBK knows it, and Simple doesn't have the angle. He's not re-peeking into that.
No, he's not. Backing out instead. The grenade doesn't really do that much. I would have thought maybe Simple would have been happy to take that fight, but not the case now. On scoping, making a bit of noise.
Hayır.
Oh, there it is, the $30,000 shot. Great play from Simple, and he finishes on top.
Amına koyayım, nereye koşturuyorsun ya? Koştura belve gidiyor NBK. Nereye gidiyorsun ya? Map'te gezmeye çıkmış. Simple'ı tebrik ederiz. $30.000 sahibi oldu. Bizim anamız sikildi ya burada.
It is. You wouldn't necessarily have picked him. I mean, especially because he was the wild card. Maybe it sort of felt like he was.
Ama yani NBK de buraya çok iyi geldi.
Did a fantastic job, obviously. That's.
In my book, he won $30,000.
In your book.
It's not going to help him in any way.
In your heart.
Yeah, it's not going to alleviate the pain, but for me,
still 12.5 for Nathan. That is